Hello YouTube chess lovers and my friends, this is Gunjan here and I like to welcome you for my Open Sicilian Repertoire series on Lowenthal Sicilian from the Black perspective. Now, whether you are completely new to the Sicilian and want to learn the Sicilian, or maybe you already playing your favorite Sicilian or any other opening and you want to add a new Sicilian Repertoire in your armory, then of course you come to the right place. The greatest thing I like about Lowenthal Sicilian is that unlike many other Sicilians, it's all about plans and patterns rather than memorizations, which make him quite unique. So without the further ado, let's get started. The opening move order are very obvious: e4, c5, and as you can see, I have highlighted by the arrows. The Open Sicilian start with the move knight to f3. However, if your opponent continue with other anti-Sicilians or gambit moves such as d4, c3, knight c3, etc., then for a time being, my recommendation is you should certainly look for other authors' videos or books until I make a series about it. After knight to f3, we are going to continue with knight to c6, and once again very important junction as Open Sicilian continue with d4. However, white has other choices, namely 3c3, knight c3, or bishop to b5, which leads to a different territory. Okay, d4, c captures d4, knight captures d4, and now white claim in the center with e5, and fortunately it also hits the knight. White knight here has few retrieve squares, but as we will see that if white wants to keep his slight advantage, then he has to play knight to b5, which is in fact the only logical choice in this position. So idea is very simple. White wants to play knight to d6 and get the bishop pair. So you might think, okay, we need to stop it with d6. But guess what? Nope. We are playing this unique move a6, allowing this knight to land on juicy d6 square. Once again, if your opponent retrieve the knight back, then I have covered those lines in the sidelines. So obviously, let's see what is the point after knight to d6. Well, if you have to play the move king to e7, then obviously we are not going to consider this opening. But black's idea is he wants to capture this knight, and after queen takes, he wants to play queen to f6. And we have reached the starting position of the Lowenthal Sicilian. So as you can see, I have highlighted by the arrows, white has 6 queen retrieving moves, and against each of them, not only we are going to look out the theory, but I'm also going to show you some of my own invention in this line, which gives you a very enjoyable play by black. Lowenthal Sicilian is not a very common opening, so if you prepared very well, then you can definitely use this as a complete surprise weapon in tournament practice. Well, before I finish this intro, the one thing which I always do, and I think you should do as well, that whenever you are going to learn a new opening, the first thing you have to find out that what are the pros and cons of that opening, and accordingly you can work on those aspects. So let's see, first of all, what are the advantages of playing Lowenthal Sicilian? Well, as you can see, I have put it here in the notes that number one, unlike popular Sicilians such as Najdorf or the Dragon, where every move is a vital, in this opening it's all about plans and patterns, and there is very little memorization is required. Number two, the forcing opening moves. That means if you carefully look at the move order, by force we are reaching the move 8 Queen F6, and that means you can do a lot of research in this line and get a very good position against each of the white reply. Number 3, and this is what make worth to learn the Sicilian, it has a very solid structure, and especially when you are playing against a higher seed opponent, it is not easy for white to win against this line. So I guess these advantages are more than enough to encourage you to play this Sicilian. Well, what about downside? Well, here it is. Number 1, which I am not fully agree, but yep, in some lines the position get draws, especially queen captures queen. So if you are in a must-win scenario, then it may or may not be right choice for you. Number 2, of course, just like any other opening, it required a superior endgame knowledge, as we will see that some lines by force leads to the endgame, where a rook and a minor piece endgame knowledge is an essential part of this opening. So I don't think so it's a big deal. Anyways, it's a part of our chess preparation and we should know about these endgame aspects. That's all guys. With this small intro, I hope I have encouraged you to take this Sicilian in your repertoire, and as we will go through the series, you will literally enjoy the richness of this opening. Well, thank you for watching this video. Feel free to like, subscribe and comment, and we will start our first part with the sideline moves. So stay tuned.